Warning. The following podcast contains explicit language and suggestive themes that may not be suitable for a younger audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Here's Lampard. Comes out to Essien. Pass, it goes left to the left footed back. It's a magnificent hat-trick. Here's Drogba. Goalkeeper hesitated again. Didier Drogba!
Thierry Henry. Wonderful goal! It's the finish of a true master.
It's a big moment here for Arsenal.
And Chelsea are right back in the race.
That's right, this is the LA Londoners podcast. You are listening to the show where our opinions don't matter, but we share them anyway. My name is Bryon James. I am the resident Chelsea fan of the podcast, and sitting next to me is my friend of over 10 years, the resident Arsenal fan of the podcast, Garrett Rodriguez.
Hello, everybody. That is me, unfortunately.
What's going on, Garrett?
Nothing much. I'm excited to do the podcast when you told me about it.
Our very first episode.
Yes, very first episode.
Excited?
Very excited.
Nervous?
Actually, yeah, even though no one's around me and no one's listening yet, so yeah.
Slightly horny?
Maybe just a little.
Well, everybody just tuned out. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Gave it a solid minute and a half. This is the podcast we're bringing to you, broadcasting from Los Angeles, California. We've decided that we wanted to give another American perspective on the Premier League, our favorite clubs, Chelsea, Arsenal, the United States men's national team, which we'll get into eventually, unfortunately. Yeah. But we're excited to bring this to you. We're going to see where this goes, but we're looking forward to, again, some conversation, distributing this all out to everybody. But why don't we get into a little bit about ourselves so that way you know who you're listening to. I guess we'll start with sort of why we got into supporting the teams we did. So let me start by asking you, Garrett, an Arsenal fan, what drew you to Arsenal and how long have you been watching them?
I would say since 2002. I was in second grade. I was still a fat little fuck. And I was still in AYSO, so I was, you know how that goes. But I didn't really start watching professional soccer until, 2002. I went to my grandparents' house because after school they would take me home, and then my grandpa would watch soccer all day. And then for some reason, I didn't know what was what team and who was what, but I saw this red uniform on the screen, and I began just sitting there watching it. And then I saw a certain number 14. Thierry Henry, and I started watching him play.
The magic man.
Yeah, I fell in love with Arsenal and what they stood for at the time. I started watching Thierry Henry, Robert Perez, Dennis Bergkamp, Jens Lehmann, Sol Campbell, all those guys I started just to get familiar with.
So that was basically the Invincible season or the season before?
The season before.
Fuck.
Season before. But then again, I was not going to keep up every single game in 2002 because I was still, in second grade? So I was, 9 years old. So I still didn't know how that worked. I was only 9.
Well, what's crazy is still back then, it wasn't as accessible as it was now, the games. You had to jump through hoops. You had to be like Indiana Jones, going through the Temple of Doom just to find the channel where the game's slightly on, and it's still
and I was dumb enough. I was like, where can I watch an Arsenal game? But we live in, obviously, California, and they play in London. But I was stupid, and I didn't know that. So I found that out, and I just been in love with them ever since. Followed them since 2002. Ride and die team.
You're ride and die team, and lately it's been a lot more die than ride.
Lately, a lot more dying and crying, and let me tell you, there's so many times I wish I would just. Why did I choose this team? But
I've found him in the fetal position a couple times.
Especially after the 8-2 loss. The last game we watched together was in the Europa League final in Buffalo Wild Wings, and there's literally maybe
tears
10
in
people.
His eyes.
Literally 10 people in the fucking building, and I was one of the idiots wearing an Arsenal jersey, and we got.
No, you had a friend in the corner. He was by himself.
Yeah, it wasn't where
just the company you need.
It was terrible, but ride and die team, mostly dying, but hopefully things aren't looking up. Well, we'll get into that later though. Yeah,
we'll get into all of our favorite moments or least favorite moments towards the end of the podcast. For me, in terms of being,
I'm interested in that.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to you, not really, but it wasn't the Premier League wasn't as accessible as it is now. Back then, it was still on Fox. But
That's when it was good.
You still had to search far and wide to find it. Like otherwise, you sometimes behind a paywall and all this stuff. But I remember seeing an ad online for what was called at the time the World Football Challenge, which was equivalent to what they have now, the International Champions Cup. The American preseason tour.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And it was basically Chelsea playing Inter Milan at the Rose Bowl here in Pasadena.
I think you told me you went to that game.
We went to that. So I asked my dad, "Hey, can you take me to this?" And he said, "Yeah, if we want to go, we'll go." So he and I went, and this was the summer of 2009. So this was Carlo Ancelotti's Chelsea against Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan.
So that was,
and this was the summer. This was the summer before Ancelotti won the double.
Yeah.
And Mourinho won the treble.
Oh, that Inter Milan team was stacked.
They were stacked, and they had. I believe this was the last game that Zlatan Ibrahimovic played.
Oh, I hate that prick.
Before he went to Barcelona.
Oh yeah,
if you remember, they didn't want to play him because they were afraid he was going to get injured. They brought him on for 10 minutes, and he broke his hand. So, and we had good seats too. We were sitting. Right.
Do you remember who you saw at that game? Like who stood out to you for Chelsea?
I mean, it was just like I had never seen. Like first off, like these dudes are massive.
Oh,
you look at like Drogba, Lampard, Terry, they're all like 6'3". They're like giant frames. Like you don't realize how big they are.
Even the muscles in the legs compared to some of the players here.
Yeah,
probably.
It was a 2-0 Chelsea win. I remember it like it was yesterday. Drogba, with his back to goal, turns and shoots just on a whim, and the goalkeeper kind of fucked it up. But it was like the reserve goalkeeper, and he just goes into the bottom right corner, 1-0. Second half, Lampard slaps home a penalty. No real contest, but still one of the most fun matches I've ever been to, just because it was like a different experience. And once you kind of see that and experience that, it's pretty much over from there. But it's always funny because I always think like it didn't have to be Chelsea. That just was the team that was there. And I was always interested in the Premier League, which is why I didn't really look at Inter Milan when I was looking like this is who I like. It just I got drawn to Chelsea.
Totally different leagues.
And not only that, but it was just like it could have been anybody.
So
it could have been Blackburn Rovers, for God's sake.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? That's a ride or die. Mostly die.
That could have been like.
That's a ride.
There would
or
have
die.
been 7 of us there. Whoa, whoa.
Blackburn Rovers. Man, I remember they were in the Premier League, but
they won the Premier League.
I remember. Yeah, and now they're
still more Premier League titles than Liverpool. Excuse me.
Yeah, we don't like Liverpool. Fuck them. Can't stand that shit.
Yeah, that's kind of how we got it. And I mean, ever since then, I mean, it's been for me now 10 years watching this club. You even longer, it sounds like.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, yeah, but you've had more success of late than you have like the 5 to 10. Well, I mean, there was a hashtag going around on Twitter for you guys for the longest time. Like it would go 6 years, 6YFA, 7YFA, 8YFA. Basically 6 years fuck all, 7 years fuck all. Because you guys just weren't winning trophies for the longest time.
No, and then we started the FA Cup runs, which were, I mean, we almost lost the first one. Hull City on Santa Cazorla bailed us out. But we almost lost that one, and then we played Villa, and then we beat you guys with a weird handball, but wasn't a handball, Alexis Sanchez.
Yes, that's right. He put up like the Wolverine X, and it just like
I thought that was gonna
bounced off. I thought it was gonna get called back.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh well, here it goes, and then I'm like, oh shoot, you know what? You always get fucked over on PKs and stuff, so we'll take it.
And that was the one. Yeah, that was the one where Diego Costa played his last game for us. That was the one where he scored the goal, and then he like. Because there was all this controversy between him and Conte.
You know what? Fuck all those guys.
We'll get into that at some point, I'm sure. And then like we scored, and we were down to 10 men because Victor Moses got sent off.
Yeah, and then here comes our boy Aaron Ramsey
who jumped ship, smart enough to jump ship.
Yeah, he was smart enough, and then to the next model totem pole prick for the header, Giroud.
And it was just, God, I still am pissed that we should have done the double that year.
I'm glad you didn't.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, fuck you. But anyways, we just kind of wanted to get into what do we want this podcast to be. It's interesting because I think with a lot of, especially sports podcasts out there, I don't want to say it's like all the same, but there's definitely a sense of uniformity to it in the sense that it's a lot of like, oh, hey, welcome to Soccer Talk. This is the We Like Soccer podcast. My name's Steve. We're going to get into Chelsea and Sheffield. I really liked Ross Barkley in this game. Actually, I didn't like Ross Barkley. I didn't think he was that good. Steve, how can you say that? It's just, it's very like, I don't know. It's very back and forth. I at least like, and we'll kind of do that too. But at least like with this, I personally wanted to be a little bit more.
Oh, I'm gonna be unbiased. I'm gonna say the truth. If he was shit, if he was good, I really don't care if anyone likes him or not.
It might be a little reactionary, but I think that's kind of the fun of it too. Is
we're
not. Well, this is what it is. It's gonna be more just us kind of having fun. Like we usually talk on the phone and talk shit to each other and about our players like on a regular basis. Or at least hopefully like this is some sort of like we'll find the reason and why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if also either of us were like a little reactionary now and then. I think that's the fun of it though.
Yeah, especially me, because a lot of our results are usually really reactionary, especially for me, because we usually get our asses whooped.
Don't let him talk about Granit Xhaka right now. He's not very happy.
Oh, no, don't worry. That's going to come later. Don't worry. For all you Xhaka fanboys out there. And Ozil fanboys, too. He was on the bench again, just sitting there. What does that tell you?
I mean, here we go. We haven't even started.
Yeah, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it.
Old man yells at cloud.
That's me. Old man yells at worthless shit.
But it's interesting because I think that we're going to get into it a little bit different, hopefully unique. Hopefully it'll be a fun listen and fun for you to join in and, add to the conversation. There's ways we can, incorporate emails, we can incorporate tweets, things like that'll spark a little bit more conversation as well.
We always want feedback as well.
Yeah, good or bad. I think that's actually really important.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you guys suck.
And interactions, that's what we really want. We want to get you involved as well.
So let's kind of get into how we feel our current teams are now.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, here we go. Put on your seatbelt because take a sip because you're going to be talking your throat dry with how much you have to say about what's going wrong.
Oh, boy. I got a good one.
Yeah, so let's get it. We'll start with you, Garrett. Let's ask this first question. Where do you feel in your current squad your strengths lie on the pitch?
Attacking. Offense.
Yeah. I mean, it's
front
pretty,
three.
It's pretty cut and dry.
I'm not trying to be biased, but if you put our front three compared to other front threes or front twos in the world football, if we're on our day, it's pretty damn good.
I think it's still untested, though.
We did play against Liverpool.
You did well to come back against Tottenham,
but Tottenham we should have beat them because they're there for the taking, and they have inside issues right now, and I don't give a fuck. But Liverpool, they're just a class above us. Obviously, I want to play against Man City, see how that goes, but no telling. But I wish we were in the Champions League.
You're gonna get fucking destroyed if you play City. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, we probably will get destroyed. I don't want to play them, especially but anyways, I think our strengths are definitely attacking. The midfield, I don't think Unai Emery still knows what his midfield is. He's tried several different options. I still don't. Yesterday, I felt like he was too defensive-minded with a certain captain, but I'm not even going to talk about him right now. He's not worth talking about.
That kind of seems like the theme, though, for...
He doesn't know what he wants to play. It's always this, or maybe I'll try that. You're supposed to figure that out during the summer. That's the whole point.
Well, I mean, he's also been there for over a year now, and yet it's still, to me, it still seems like you still haven't found your entire philosophy or the way you want to set up going forward.
He doesn't. I don't think he knows what he wants to do because I seen Danny Ceballos, Joe Willock, and Granit Xhaka, and then I saw also Lucas Touré yesterday, Granit Xhaka, and Guendouzi. Guendouzi, by the way, phenomenal yesterday. But I don't know. It's too defensive minded for me.
I think with you guys, I mean, going back to your front three, I still need to watch Pepe a little bit more. I think he still needs time to gel.
Yeah, he was thrown into the fire right away, especially against Liverpool. He could have had one, but he just turned into Bambi on ice skates up top. But he's got the quality. He's going to score goals, but it's kind of hard to rely on him right away. I think right now our game plan is let's hope that one of our front three or two of our front three will just get on fire and rescue us. I mean, and you can't do that every game because if you do that every game, you're screwed.
22 goals last season in league, 13 the season before. I mean, this guy can score, but I mean, it's a lot different in the French league than it is.
Oh yeah, but what correlates? I seen his skills. He is making people for fun. He's got jets in his boots. He's one of the fastest players I've seen. He's faster than Aubameyang. He's probably faster than Bellerin too. and Walcott. But
what I like about him though is he looks like he's
relaxed.
not afraid to express himself on the pitch, which is interesting because, I mean, let's not get into a whole comparison thing, but right now if we're gonna look at like someone like Pulisic, who's also new to the league, also pretty young, although he's a few years younger than Pepe.
Yeah,
he's a little more timid on the ball. He doesn't necessarily have that like freedom of movement, those creative juices. He's more, how do I put it, like technically astute almost in a way. You know what I mean? It's more like defined. He's got his set movements. He's got his set turns. He's not necessarily more like creative on a whim like I see Pepe is. Yeah,
and Pepe is promising because we've watched Premier League and we've seen Van Dijk just, never get beat or anything. But when I watched Pepe against Liverpool, Van Dijk looked a little worried when Pepe was going at him, so that was promising for me. So I was like, okay, if he can take on Van Dijk, who just won Player of the Year, then I think we'll be fine. I think the international break is probably good though, right now to come.
Did he get called up? Is he going?
I don't know if he got called up or not. He might have. I should probably check that out.
Double check that. I think I don't know who's going, who's coming, all that. Where is your biggest weakness on the pitch? He just gave me a look.
Defense.
What?
Center. Yes.
You guys just got David Luiz though. You got the best. You guys just robbed Chelsea of David Luiz.
Yeah.
I mean,
first half he looked fucking lost again. He looked like Sideshow Bob. The definition of Sideshow Bob.
I mean, everybody said, "Oh, he's the best ball playing center back. He's gonna create stability."
Second half he did all of that
against Tottenham.
First half he was lost. Socrates, oh fuck, he's becoming more overrated as I see him play. There was no reason. There was a certain point in the game. Arsenal fans that were watching the game probably saw this. That led to the first goal. He went for a header with Granit Xhaka against Harry Kane, and it just didn't make any sense. At all to go for it.
What's your starting back four right now when everybody's healthy?
Oh, that's hard. I'm gonna go with Socrates, David Luiz, Kieran Tierney, Hector Bellerin.
Has Tierney stepped on the pitch for you guys yet?
Nope. He's still training right now.
Did he take a summer off? Why is waiting? Why is Emery waiting so long to put him on the pitch?
Oh, because he came back from hernia surgery.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, hernia. Yeah. If he was not hurt, he would be definitely playing right now.
I get that.
Because Kolasinac is the starting left back. But actually, he didn't do too bad yesterday as far as crossing the ball. Usually, he can't cross the ball.
Well, I mean, we know he can win in a street fight. So.
Oh yeah, I would take him any day in WWE,
Jeez
UFC.
Louise,
I'd take him. But left back would be Tierney. Center backs would be Socrates, David Luiz, and then right back Bellerin. That would be my starting four. Take it or leave it at that point because we have no one else. Maybe Callum Chambers every now and then.
I mean, you guys got speed, but I mean, in terms of composure in the back, I think
it's a heart attack every game.
Like, I mean, let's be honest. Like, if you have that full strength back four, and you're going up against Liverpool and City's attack,
well, yeah, we're gonna get probably shredded now and then.
But David Luiz is gonna be sent for a bag of chips every time Mohamed Salah runs out with him with the ball.
He's gonna get turned. But I will say though, once we do get our fullbacks back, but that's also a thing. Bellerin, he might not be the same player anymore. He was showing promise and then he got hurt, catastrophic injury. He might not be the same. Tierney, he was in the Scottish League. They won the title 9 years in a row.
Yeah, I mean that's not necessarily like
the best league in the world.
Competition.
So I hope Kieran Tierney is all that we've been talking about. I hyped him up. I'm excited. I seen him play for Celtic. I mean, he likes going forward, but defending wise, I got to see. I don't know.
You know what? Your defense is interesting though, but I also think it depends on the way you guys want to play because
I'm sick and tired of playing the ball at the back, doing that little.
We
did that against Liverpool. Why would you do that when you have Mane, Firmino, and Salah, and then you have Fabinho and just pressing, and you gave it to Socrates and David Luiz and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and then you also had Nacho Monreal. It didn't make any sense to play it out of the back because you cannot trust them playing out of the back at all because it's worrisome. It's like giving a child a hot potato. It's going to throw it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, but even then, I mean, I don't know what you guys are trying to achieve with that because, I mean, it looked like you guys were playing like a 4-2-3-1 against Liverpool. That's the game I actually watched and like studied for a little bit.
He got it wrong.
It was
wrong.
I mean, well,
the whole thing was wrong.
It's interesting though that I mean, do you think with Bellerin and Tierney, if like they get healthy, if they get fit, like does that improve at all, or do you think it's a lost cause?
It improves because I think when you like we've noticed with other players at other clubs, once you get better people around you, everyone else starts to play better. Mm-hmm. So I think Bellerin and Tierney are smart players, and it makes up for the brain dead ones we have on this team. Mm-hmm. So as far as defensively, I think they'll make a difference. Hopefully make a difference. If not, then it's a lost cause.
Yeah, I can see that. We've already gone through 2/3 of your squad. We might as well just go through the midfield now because you've had a lot of changes to your midfield. With Danny Ceballos coming in on loan,
I love that
there's
kid.
Still a lot of uncertainty in terms of Mesut Ozil. Again, Doozy's starting to step up and take responsibility and also like start to show himself and express himself a little bit more.
In 3 years' time, I think he could be captain of the club.
Interesting.
Because I don't know if I'm the only one that does this, but every time I watch an Arsenal game, when there's a foul or if there's a free kick or a throw-in, I always look around. I don't always look at the focus point of the cameraman. I always look around to see who's doing the most movements, who's trying to get the team encouraged. He is always the most passionate one on the field. Always. Guendouzi, and even Ceballos, who's on loan, is also one of the most passionate players that's on the pitch.
Yeah, but passion doesn't win you games, though.
But they're also the most quality ones that were there yesterday.
Okay. I mean,
so that makes sense for me. He's more of a captain than you know who.
You mean what? Granit Xhaka, the Captain Xhaka?
Granit fucking Ping. If you don't love Granit Xhaka, you don't love football. Get the fuck out of here with that. I don't. No. I love football and I don't love Granit Xhaka.
When I was younger, I was the younger sibling, but my parents always gave me the house keys.
Well, good for you.
I'm a leader.
Yeah, you're a leader, all right. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, when they gave you the house keys, you probably couldn't even open the door. He is honestly, oh my God, he should not be starting on this football club. He should be the fucking ball boy and the bib boy.
Wow, harsh.
He is not a captain. I'd rather have just give the captain's armband to Socrates. I don't really care. He's the most scary looking guy on the team.
Where is he at with his deal, with his contract?
Xhaka?
Yeah. How many years does he have left?
Hopefully not. Well, he probably has 2 or 3 years left. Remember, I think he signed a contract
Did he get extended?
Yeah, he did. I remember I thought he signed a contract a couple seasons ago. But I remember there was those rumors of Inter Milan and Atletico Madrid going after him.
I could see him going to the Serie A when his time's up.
He would honestly be a baller probably in Serie A.
I could see him like working his ass off for Antonio Conte, like in the Premier League. I feel like Conte is one of those like put your head down and workhorse type managers that would love someone like Xhaka.
Yeah, and that's also comes down to the manager. But I'm not gonna talk about that right now. But I think that he would benefit playing in Serie A because that league, I watched it over the weekend. Slow. And he's slower than molasses.
It's definitely a labor sometimes, but I think that league is getting a little more interesting.
And now it is. It's so weird because we're dumping all the crap players from English Premier League to the Serie A, which is weird.
They really are kind of feeding off the Premier League.
It's super weird. Mkhitaryan went to Roma today. Bon voyage. See ya. Get the fuck out. He was terrible. God, I don't know if you saw on you guys can look at this. AS Roma's English Twitter. The pictures they took of Mkhitaryan are pretty bad. I mean, he looks fucking scared.
Is that official?
Yeah, he's there. He's doing the medicals, riding the bike. He's done.
Oh, that's official.
He's on loan for the season with option to buy.
That's the new like way they do deals now. With FFP.
Do you feel like loans are like the most everything? I feel like this whole transfer window has been loans.
It's always going to be like a season-long loan with either an obligation to buy or it's going to be like an option to buy.
Even the Neymar deal that they wanted to do, Barcelona this summer wanted to do a loan deal.
Well, I think there's so much money at stake now. Usually, like these clubs are saying, well, we're taking a loss on all these players. At least, like if we can like have them for a season on loan, and then eventually, buy either obligation to buy or option to buy
for cheaper, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just found a Granit Xhaka deal. He's until 2023.
2023.
It makes me sick.
That's still 4 more years.
No, it's not happening.
4 more years.
We're gonna find a sucker to buy him back.
4 more years. He's the Donald Trump of Arsenal FC. except he doesn't build a wall. He tears the defensive wall down.
Yeah, he tears the defensive wall down. He built a wall around himself. Garbage.
All right, let's kind of get into Chelsea's strengths, and I'm interested to see what you think as sort of
what is your strength?
A non-optimistic fan, because I think this is an interesting time right now for this club. Very
interesting, but at the same time, I'm happy.
It's funny because like this is This is a time in this club right now that we have not seen, and honestly, I don't know how long.
I'm always used to Chelsea spending the cash.
Well, that's the problem is, and they still do, but,
Not on the
but they spend it on shit.
Morata.
They spent it on, expired milk. It's like, look at the summer of 2017.
I'm looking at your lineup from against Sheffield, and
It's a very new wave. But if you look at, 2017, Alvaro Morata, he's gone.
yeah, he was great.
Timo Bakayoko, he's back at Monaco now.
Man, I had so much promise for that guy.
Danny Drinkwater, he's at Burnley.
Drink shit.
The only players... Davide Zappacosta is now at Roma.
Another Premier League outcast.
It's basically just Antonio Rudiger, who's injured right now.
I like him.
And Willy Caballero, who's a backup goalkeeper.
A.K.A. Johnny Sins of the Premier League.
Shit. He's actually not a bad backup, but,
He's a penalty god.
This is an interesting time in the club right now because we're actually relying on our resources, but in a different way than we've ever done before. Ever since Abramovich come in, it's been spend, buy.
And we've usually sometimes gotten the players right. Like Eden Hazard, obviously you got right.
Well, it's funny because it's like if you don't get the job done, someone else will. And
especially manager-wise too.
Manager-wise, it's been a carousel, and it's so interesting because now, with this whole idea that Lampard's in, he's bringing in a new age, a new philosophy. The entire backroom staff is basically has a Chelsea background, which is not something we've seen.
Do you like that?
I do. I do. I think that's important, especially with assistant managers like Jody Morris, Joe Edwards, these guys who have basically taken a lot of these younger players and sort of worked with them since the age of 8, 9, 10. They know who they are.
It's always
they
important.
know what makes them tick. Mm-hmm. They know how to motivate them, how to get them to play. Their styles, their mannerisms. I think that has a lot of... I don't see any negative sides to that. I think that with Lampard, it's a new age where we're going to rely on our own production, our own talent.
I could tell already from some of the players you have on here.
It's interesting because now these players are getting this opportunity that we haven't seen since literally John Terry.
And you have a special one, Mason Mount.
Yeah,
I like him.
It's so interesting because, we've never seen it. Or I wouldn't say never, but we haven't.
I've never seen it as an Arsenal fan. I always expect Chelsea to play. I'm like, oh fuck, they're gonna bring out the all stars for this team. But now, no offense, but when I see you guys when we play you, I'm gonna be like, we have a chance because it's not the usual Chelsea squad that's stacked of stars.
Well, I think that these players need to grow because it's not like these younger players are just scrubs that.
Oh no, they have quality.
These younger players when they were younger, they were constantly winning FA Youth Cups, the UEFA Youth Cups. Mm-hmm. These guys were winning year after year. Jody Morris, as the coach of them, was winning title after title. But it's interesting anyway because realistically, Lampard is the first English manager we've had since. Basically, Glenn Hoddle in '93 to '96.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, it's. If you take out caretaker managers like Ray Wilkins, Steve Holland, but
I don't want to count those.
But it's so weird because this is and this really. Let's be honest when we talk about it, this probably wouldn't happen if we didn't have a transfer ban.
Oh no, Frankie would not be there.
No, and no. I think what the rumor is that they always wanted Lampard to get a little bit more experience
and then bring him in.
But, with this transfer ban, I gotta say this is a blessing in disguise because it's honestly it's a time where.
Well, I'll tell you. Well, I don't want to interrupt you, but I tell you right now, if there was no transfer ban, Tammy Abraham would not be your starting striker,
no.
And Ross Barkley would not be starting, and neither would probably
Mason Mount would be starting.
And
be playing.
Kayo Tomori.
He was actually Derby's player of the season last year. Not Mason Mount.
And Kern Zuba would not be starting. Yeah, a lot of these guys would probably not be starting.
We would sell for a profit.
Yeah, a lot of them, even the bench, some of them.
But we've had to bring back our own resources and rely on these players. And I think that is something that's going to save us in the long term for a lot of reasons. I think, why go out and spend money on the Davide Zappacostas if you can use Reece James, this young player who was English right back, eventually was so good that they moved him to center midfield. Mm-hmm. It's because he was pulling all the strings for them. Yeah. Basically saving them from relegation into League One. They gave him the captain's armband in the last game of the season and a standing ovation when he walked off the pitch. An 18-year-old, one season.
Is he hurt right now for you guys?
He is. He got hurt in the under 17, under 19. I think it's called like the Toulon tournament.
Oh yeah, I watched on BN Sports
Whatever
sometimes.
that is. Yeah, it was like the young like Euros or something like that. But when he comes back, I think when he comes back, when Rudiger comes back, our defense will look a little bit stronger. He's the one I'm actually really excited about.
And so if I had to ask you right now, who would you want as your number 9 up top if you had to buy someone right now, realistic, when the transfer ban's uplifted right now? If you had to get one player.
Oh, God.
Number 9. You can spend as much money as you want.
I don't know, because I think we still have to wait and give Tammy time to express himself. I mean, look, he's got 4 goals in 4 games.
All of a sudden, yeah. I think he got criticized, and he's like, yeah.
2 braces. Okay, fine. But, I mean, even against Liverpool in the Super Cup, he won the penalty. Like, he played okay. He missed the penalty in the shootout. But, I mean, he can carry himself decently well. But it's going to take time for these guys to grow. And it's almost like all I want is once we get out of this transfer ban, whether that be January, whether that be June, it doesn't matter, that we look and we spend the extra money that we've now saved from having all these players on top quality. Yeah, there's no excuse to come back with, well, we've got the cheaper deal. Like, we're just going to keep, saving money. But like, no, that's spend on top quality. Use your resources, even if they're squad players. Yeah, just use them. Let them be a part of this squad. Let there be this ingrained, like Chelsea fiber in the squad that you'll have, that knows what it means to play for the club, knows like the culture, the history, like the supporters, like what it means to go and play, play Tottenham, play Arsenal, play United, play Liverpool.
That's always important.
Like, if you don't have players that understand like how big it is, not just for the club, but for the fans, like for supporters around the world, you just find a disconnect. Yeah. And that's why I think things went so wrong with Sarri last year, just because
it was very awkward.
He didn't get it.
Yeah.
And he probably did get it. I don't want to discredit him, but I mean, let's be honest, he just didn't care.
His body language, it just didn't seem like he cared.
I mean,
the only time I saw that he really got pissed is when that whole Kepa and he didn't want to come out, and then he was pissed, and then you guys ended up losing anyway.
That was a shambles.
I thought that was great.
I mean, it was, I mean, and it really, and the fans really do really will back you if you respect them and acknowledge them and work for them, and you just didn't see that.
I always try to work out how you guys work, because it seems like you guys change managers like you change fucking boxers. every year it's a different manager almost.
Yeah, but they, I mean, at least they pick winners.
Yeah. But, what do you call it? Oh yeah, not all the time. Okay. But do you like that, or would you wish you had some stability, a manager for like 2 to 3 years instead of every year?
I think we're going to see more stability with Lampard.
That's what I think too.
I think that he is going to, this season, I mean, he will be in this season whether he finishes 1st or 5th or 15th.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that.
Unless like this club is basically on fire, he will be in this job come July next summer. I cannot see any reason as to why he would be
sacked.
Why he would be let go, why they wouldn't continue, like, let him build what he's trying to build.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be sacked before him.
Oh, for sure.
For
sure. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's early days. They've played 5 competitive matches, but you can at least see some sort of progress in terms of his build-up, in terms of how he wants his strikers to play, how he wants his defenders to play, or his fullbacks are running up and down the pitch constantly. His midfielders, they're staying tight, but they're playing little interchanges to build.
And I'm looking at your next 3 games here. They're kind of tough.
It's Wolves away, Liverpool home. And...
No, you got one before Liverpool at home too. Valencia at home.
Oh, the Champions League. Yeah. I forgot the Champions League.
Tough 3 games, but Wolves, weird team.
Wolves have not
weird.
Been very strong.
I think that Europa League is going to throw them off.
Maybe.
That's what happened to Burnley when they were in the Europa League, remember?
It's almost like that sophomore slump, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They got quality players, though.
Oh, for sure. I think they'll be able to hold themselves well. And, of course, against us, they'll probably pull a Worley. But
I hope so. No.
But going back to kind of where Chelsea's strengths lie on the pitch.
Yeah, where do you think?
The midfield, without a question.
That's what I was going to say, watching them play.
I mean, if you just N'Golo Kante alone can play all 3 positions in that midfield. But when you look at like players like Mason Mount, you look at players like Jorginho, he's been kind of up and down, but I think like he's starting to really find his place. I think like really what he needs is he just needs to figure out how to weight his passes properly. He knows when to play the pass. He knows who to play the pass to. It's always like just a touch off. And I mean, besides him, Mateo Kovacic, who's a really good deep line midfielder who, okay, he's not going to get you really any goals or assists, but he will be able to play the ball out of the back, which is what Lampard wants. He will stick a foot in.
I think he's quality.
He'll run his ass off for 90 minutes, and he'll be able to progress the play.
I liked him at Real Madrid when he came on. Sometimes he was good.
And I mean, and that's not even like Mason Mount, who's going to be an effective number 8 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he could play a number 10. He could play on the left wing, which is who we're kind of playing with right now because we've got so many wingers injured.
Mm-hmm.
Ross Barkley, who's a toss-up.
Yeah, he is garbage.
I mean, if it's not preseason, then he's not showing up.
Yeah, the most important time to show up, he doesn't show up. So.
And in my opinion, we still don't have our best midfielder back, Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
He was promising for you guys.
Dude, he played, I swear to God. He had something like, it was 983 minutes in the Premier League.
Yeah.
6 goals, 2 assists. 983 minutes is basically the equivalent of less than 11 games, and he's had 8 goal contributions.
He's a quality player. He's English too, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you give him a full season, if he can stay healthy, he will run players off the pitch.
He's a bully.
He's an interesting player because he's like, for someone that size,
shouldn't be that mobile.
He should not be that like technically gifted.
Kind of like done.
But that's what I like about him. He's like, he'll get the ball and he will just start running at you with speed. He puts midfielders on the back foot.
Yeah.
He confuses them. He will body them if he needs to, and he will always play like an effective pass. And I think he's probably like one of our most effective finishers at the club, which, let's be honest, right now this club doesn't have a whole lot of them.
Oh, sure you do. You have Giroud.
Only if we're playing Arsenal.
Yeah, which is fucking weird.
All the time. Arsenal.
Fucking A.
In terms of our weakness, I mean, it's got to be the striker. I think we're figuring it out, though.
I mean, you have 3 to choose from. Batshuayi,
who's, by the way, basically been missing.
Abraham.
He played a few minutes against Sheffield, but I mean, he still needs to get up to speed. That guy's so interesting.
So you got Batshuayi, who's a mystery man. You got Abraham, who's a young, skinny twig, and then you got Giroud, who is the French supermodel.
He hasn't been playing much. I think he's off taking photo shoots at GQ.
Oh, good. He can get the fuck out of here. Can't stand him.
I think we need to give Tammy a little bit more time.
How old is he? I'm gonna look it up right now.
He is 20.
21.
21, excuse me.
It'll be 22 in October.
And I think he scored over 20 goals in the championship last season. Okay, that's the championship, but the only person who scored more, I think the only person that scored more was Teemu Pukki.
Everybody loves Pukki.
Oh, it's like, but I mean, look, he had 2 braces. Like he's now able to hold himself a little bit. He's able to.
He's a big guy. He just needs to bulk up.
Yeah, I mean, and he's working. I know he's working on finishing with Lampard after training. Lampard's basically said that.
Well, I mean, you have Giroud. They're the same size. He should be showing him, something to hold the ball.
Well, I think he's stronger than he looks, but he still needs to bulk a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to go up against the Maguires, the Van Dijks, like, you need to be able to hold yourself high. And we kind of...
David Luiz is... No,
David Luiz will just run by him. He doesn't know where the hell he is. And what's funny is Tammy is very... He kind of reminds me of... in a way, he kind of reminds me of Peter Crouch in the way that, like,
lanky.
He's lanky, but also, like, they were both very, like, surprisingly technically gifted with their feet.
Yeah.
Like, now Tammy's, like, I think technically far better than Peter Crouch, and also he's way more mobile, but, like...
Yeah, Peter
Peter
Crouch is better at doing the robot than he is with his feet.
But, like, Tammy is one of those guys where if he can hold off turn defenders, occupy them, really like become a nuisance in their side and actually be able to hold up and progress play, because I think that's where his weakness is right now, is kind of just holding up the ball, allowing the wingers, the midfielders to get involved and then laying it off. I think that's still, he needs to get on that wavelength. But if he can put all that together, if he can put a boot through the ball and just get it in the back of the net, I don't care how it gets in there. He can go with his foot, off his face, off his ass. I don't care. Just get it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
I don't see why he can't be like one of our main men going forward. And not the only main man, but like realistically, like he can be someone who can push and compete with this, 80 million, 90 million pound striker. If
Who
they
usually
wanna bring
flops.
that in. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea's had the worst luck with strikers other than Drogba and Costa, but I mean, it's.
Yep.
I think like he can be someone who can be important to the side, but I think it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of patience, and it's going to take a lot of, frankly, just encouragement and support. But we gotta give them that room to grow. Same with every player right now. And I think once we see these guys start to get more integrated, more familiar with the Premier League, like what it entails, the physicality, and not just that, but the Champions League as well, playing all these matches, I think we'll see a side that will be primarily English, first off.
Which is actually, remember, it used to be negative to have English players, but now it's more like celebrated.
Well, this is a golden generation. I think this is the new golden generation.
I wish
that's
we had more
coming up.
British players. Well, our old British core was, super good. Jack Wilshere, Theo Walcott,
Oh, God. Jack
Carl
Wilshere.
Jenkinson,
Jenko.
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and
Yeah, scoring
Kieran
bangers for
Gibb.
Liverpool.
Yeah, God, we had fucking, what a shit British core.
Oh, man.
Go on.
But
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where this team goes in the next year, the next couple years.
It's gonna be interesting.
But I think this is a good season for them to test them, trial them, and let's be honest, like if they can't hack it in this league, then we know where our transfer targets need to go. Like we know where we need to improve on the pitch.
Yeah.
But you can't figure that out unless you give them time and the room to grow. And I think this is the exact moment that it needs to happen.
Perfect situation.
Yeah.
Situational.
And look, if they don't do well, then we can make a profit.
Yeah, you can always make
as
a
cold
profit.
as that sounds, I mean, you'll make a profit.
Especially in today's transfer market, everything is overpriced. So instead of 20 million, you're paying 35,
You
40.
have to rely on your own resources right now.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much like average players are going for. I mean,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
it's like, and it's always the Premier League too. Like just because
It's because you play in the Premier League, so you're overpriced automatically.
All these clubs know that the Premier League have money because I mean,
TV deals.
the TV deals and all that sponsorships.
Yeah, Wilfred Zaha is not 80 million pound player.
No, he's not.
He's
but
more like 40, maybe.
Yeah,
Not 80 million.
no. I mean, he
Ridiculous.
deserves a move, but it's also his fault for signing a contract extension. But
Yeah,
that's just-
you're never coming to Arsenal, Zaha. Never. Don't want him.
He's sitting at home waiting for the phone to ring, and then he gets a notification: Arsenal signed Nicolas Pepe.
He was probably the only Arsenal fan that was upset about that move.
You see him like, he liked that Instagram post, but it was like a sad like. He's
He was
like,
like, "Fuck."
he probably accidentally hit the like button with the tears that were falling down his
I
face.
wouldn't doubt. I could see buying Zaha. Just real quick, I don't want to talk about him much, but I could probably see Spurs buying Zaha.
I could see them spending that money.
I could see it. It'd be weird. You know what? If he does, he can go fuck himself too. I really don't care. He was supposed to go to Bayern Munich too at one point. I thought that was weird, but
That's
they already
Wow,
signed.
they
their
ended
players.
up with Super Perisic.
God, that guy is.
Talk about falling down the pecking order in terms of your transfer targets.
But-
Callum Hudson-Odoi, Leroy Sané,
I'm just gonna get this in there.
Perisic.
When you think of big clubs in world football, Bayern's not on there. That's just my opinion.
I don't agree with that.
That's for another episode. Bye.
God, no, what?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I mean they're constantly winning the German league. I mean, how?
Yay.
Is that right? I mean, I was not expecting that, but
That's for a controversial episode. Whenever it comes out.
That's your hot take.
That's
of
my
the
hot take. My hot take.
day. Let's get
opinion.
into who are your top 3 players in the side right now? Your favorite.
My favorite. Oh, okay. Favorite. Guendouzi.
Is that how
Abami.
you say his name, or is it Guendouzi?
You know, it's Guendouzi. I mix it up.
Guendouzi. I say Guendouzi.
Guendouzi. Yeah, he did a dozy yesterday. He had a phenomenal game, but I would go with Guendouzi, Aubameyang, and like I was telling you yesterday, when people ask me who my favorite players are, it's more of I just like the squad. I don't have a favorite player because no one's,
No one excites you.
no
No one
one's
gets you off your seat.
Not yet. It could be Pepe, but I'm not gonna say. That's just like you ask an Arsenal fan in the street, who's your favorite player?
That's the bright shiny new toy right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, it's Pepe. It's Pepe. Anyone can say it's Pepe. Or everyone's going, David Luiz. Oh, you're fucking lying to me then. So honestly, it would be Aubameyang, Guendouzi, and I'm going to say Lacazette.
Lacazette, okay.
And Lacazette, by the way, had a shocker for 40 minutes yesterday until he woke up. But that's the thing about him. He needs to start every game.
Well, that's funny because it doesn't seem like Emery relies on him in the big matches a lot.
He will be, I have a gut feeling one of those two will be sold in the next 2 years.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And it's super weird because if you can't fit
Well, I mean, Aubameyang is getting up there in age too, isn't he? Isn't he
30, 31, 30. Yeah, going on 31, I think.
29?
But I mean, if you're good, you're good. If you're good, it doesn't matter how old you are. Look at Ronaldo, Messi. They're up there in age and they're world
Ronaldo's
class.
34.
Yeah, and he's
Still
scoring
scoring
goals. So I don't want any excuses. I know the Premier League's the best in the world, but
He's 30. Aubameyang is
so
30.
he'll be 31 this year. Yes,
next year.
next year.
He just turned 30.
That's another thing. Yeah,
So
So
you got an aging squad.
So that's the one thing. Once we fix the offense, the defense sucks. Once we fix the defense, the offense sucks. So it's never,
Never-ending cycle, man.
never just all at one time that we get it right. But I think with the new regime, it's gonna get right. We have the Dons at place now. So Don Raul, thank God.
We'll see what I'm interested to see what your future lies with that, because look, I don't think you guys are going to keep Ceballos permanently.
Oh God, I wish. I hope so.
I mean, it seems like he's using, like, not to be disrespectful, but
He's using us to
you
get
guys
better.
as a stepping stone.
But thing is, I hope Real Madrid get Pogba or Eriksen or another class midfielder, because I think they're supposed to get. It's 11:21 right now. Bruno Fernandes today.
See, I heard that rumor, but I don't know.
Supposed to be announced today because
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Zidane said expect 2 bombs. So I don't know if the first bomb was Keylor Navas leaving. We all expected that. But if Bruno Fernandes comes in and maybe Pogba because Real Madrid sucks, but they would have to get Fernandes or Pogba or someone. Then I think Ceballos would say, "Why am I going to go back? I'm never going to play. Never going to play. So stay with us. You're definitely going to play all the time."
I mean, he'll never stop playing because there's no competition.
He was promised something 38 to 40 games. Emery promised he would be playing in. That's a lot of games for a lone
experience.
player. But
this is honestly a decent level to get that experience.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at least you have,
Well, he looked lost against Liverpool.
Okay, but
That's Liverpool.
That was, your third game of the season?
Third game of the season. But at Burnley, he put on a masterclass. Yesterday when he came on.
It's fucking Burnley.
I know it was Burnley, but when he came on yesterday against Spurs, changed the game. He looked good. I would rather have him come on than Ozil at this point.
Interesting.
For the rest of the season.
As a number 10 or number 8?
Whatever. Creativity. He creates a lot when he's on the ball.
I haven't watched enough of him to give my verdict. But
I feel more confident when he's on the ball than any other player on Arsenal who was on the ball.
Okay.
As of right now.
Okay, and when he goes away, what's your contingency plan?
You better spend the money to keep him.
He's not gonna stay.
I think he might stay.
The only way he stays for me is if Zidane or whoever's the manager at the time, because let's be honest.
Yeah,
Zidane's
it's gonna
not doing
change.
so hot
It's
right
gonna change.
If
It's
the
gonna be
manager
Mourinho
says,
again.
Hey, you know what? I've still got Luka Modric, 35-year-old, halfway to dust. Luka Modric. I've still got Toni Kroos. I've still got Casemiro. Guess
Isco.
what? I just brought
Asensio.
Pogba.
Yeah.
Asensio's injured.
Well, when he comes, well,
I've still got all these players. You're not going to get a sniff.
he's staying.
He'll probably stay. That's the only way I see it happening. But
I mean, the man loves Santi Cazorla. He could be our new Santi Cazorla.
don't say that.
I'm gonna say it. He could be our new Santi Cazorla. He looks up to him. He loves all the Spanish players that play for Arsenal, according to the interviews. But anyone could say that.
Yeah,
Just
right.
like Mkhitaryan, his dream to play for Dortmund, Manchester United, and Arsenal.
It's like these
God.
players, like, in 2011, like, it was always my dream to play for Manchester City. It's like,
Yeah, did they know Manchester City was absolute shit
like,
prior to all
when
the
you
oil
were-
money?
When you were a kid, Manchester City were still in the championship.
They're in the
and
championship,
League
coming
One.
in 16th place. Don't
What
kid
a
yourself.
dream. What a dream. Dream big, kids.
That's not a dream. Oh
Um,
God damn.
Who do you expect to, like, have a breakout season for your club?
That is interesting.
Is there any player coming up right now, whether it be a youth player or maybe a player
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Joe Willock.
Is that an attacker? I can't remember.
It's midfielder.
Midfielder.
Yeah, and he didn't get the start against Spurs. He's been starting our past couple games, and he is a youth product who's shown a lot of balls, intelligence, and he just holds it down. And when he loses the ball, he's not like the other pricks in the midfield who just stand there. He goes and gets it back. And Joe Willock is, I think, going to be a breakout player, and I think he should be starting week in and week out, in my opinion. He should have started yesterday instead of Granit Xhaka. I don't give a fuck. Because Granit Xhaka to me yesterday, absolutely pitiful.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. So I think Joe Willock for me is the, he's going to be the player to break through this season. I would say Guendouzi, but I'm going to say Joe Willock.
I mean, in terms of, like, establishing yourself as a mainstay in the side.
Joe Willock, definitely. Then, yeah,
Okay.
he's gonna establish himself because he.
Guendouzi played a lot last season, but I mean,
Yeah.
he was okay. But I mean, he wasn't like
This season, he's been a hell of a lot better. Obviously, it's his second season, but Joe Willock, who's coming through the ranks at the youth academy with Freddie.
Super Frank.
No, not Suit. No. It's because we were talking about him earlier. No, Freddie Lundberg.
Oh, Freddie.
Yeah, Freddie, who's now. At some point, I think if Emery gets the sack, I feel like he might take over.
Not Mikel Arteta.
Oh God, I don't want to see any more hand movements. Just like Pep does. Every time the camera goes on him, he's automatically doing a fucking robot on the sideline. So stupid. Or even No, never mind. I was gonna say Per Mertesacker, but he's still with the youth academy.
Mertesacker.
He's in the youth academy as a coach.
Is he really?
Yeah, and you know what? For as slow as that motherfucker was, he was actually a good defender.
All of his speed is in his mind.
Yeah, he's got he's good brain, just wasn't blessed with speed. Slower than a turtle.
Slower than molasses.
But
I've seen milk turn faster than Per Mertesacker.
Yeah, you know what? He had who in his pocket? What was that one game? Was it against you?
Costa?
Yeah.
Costa got him sent off one game.
Yeah, because he's a fucking prick. Anyways, I'm done talking about him. But yeah, Joe Willock for me is going to be the breakthrough player.
Okay.
What about for you? Who's going to be a break? Oh, actually, wait, I didn't ask. Who are your three favorite players on the side? Since you're American, it's Pulisic, right?
No.
Okay,
actually. No. We'll get into Pulisic a little later. I think that my top 3 right now, if I had to pick, would be... I'm going to say I really like Andreas Christensen, which is an odd pick, but I think that he's got such like a calmness and composure to him that I always like. Even if he makes a mistake, I get that mistake against Barcelona when he let Messi score. It's fine, whatever. But I mean, I for some reason feel a sense of calmness, a sense of like feeling assured that I don't feel with other players.
Why don't you
I
think
never
he's starting?
felt that way with David Luiz. I never felt that way with Kurt Zuma. I didn't feel that way with Cahill. It's just with Christensen, there's like a calmness that you kind of need back there.
Is he? Well, why don't you think he's starting then?
I don't know why he didn't start against Sheffield. I think Lampard just wanted
Something different.
Tomori to get his debut, and Sheffield was a good. And Tomori, by all accounts, held himself very well. I mean,
Pretty good.
It was just Azpilicueta that screwed it. But
Yeah.
I think Christensen would be one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been rooting for him for a while.
Danish?
I would pick,
He's Danish, right?
He's Danish.
Yeah, it's like
correct.
that. Mm-hmm.
I would pick. I will say.
Yeah, see, it's hard because
You know what? I'm gonna say Ruben Loftus-Cheek, definitely.
when he comes back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I think he's just like he's wavy. He's
Yeah, he's
absolutely nuts. And then I'd say for my third pick, I would go with. You know what? I'll go with Emerson right now. Emerson is.
I thought you didn't rate him, or was that?
You know what? I didn't see enough of him.
Uh-huh.
But anybody's better than Marcos Alonso. But I mean, Emerson this season
Uh-huh.
has shown that he is not just a top left back, but one of the best left backs in Europe so far. One of the top performing, like in terms of like performance through, and he's played pretty much every minute.
He's Brazilian, right?
He's
Is it
Brazilian,
Italian?
but he plays for the Italians. Same with Jorginho.
Ah, okay, I see.
He is without a doubt like a breath of fresh air, and I wish that these managers who brought him in played him with Hazard more,
Yeah.
because that would have taken so much off of Hazard's plate. Just the fact that Emerson has the speed to recover when he's out of position. He goddamn overlaps and not underlaps like certain Spanish fucks. I honestly I cannot overstate how much of a difference it is. And even if you look at it in the games now, our left side, our build-up is much more coherent than it is on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone like Azpilicueta, he kind of freaks out when he
By the
gets
way, I can't stand that motherfucker. I honestly hate him. I just don't like the way he's just a prick. He's just an agitating little prick.
it's interesting. Azpi's he's been a good servant for the club, but I mean, he's never been that attacking fullback.
Yeah, I hate him.
He's never been someone who you can, and I think that's partly why our crosses are awful, but at least Emerson is putting in decent crosses. But in terms of our build up, Emerson is definitely the more coherent of the two, and that's and right now I think we haven't had a stable left back since Ashley Cole, or even ironically Azpilicueta as a left back under Mourinho.
Ashley Cole.
Emerson, I would say. So Emerson, Ruben, and Christensen.
Nice.
Are
Okay.
my top 3.
Interesting.
In terms of breakout,
Mason Mount?
no, I'm gonna say Reece James.
Oh, yeah. You talked him up. So, yeah.
I'm gonna say Reece James, and that guy's a unit. He's 6'1". He's definitely got a build, but I think he will be the yin to Emerson's yang in the sense.
Which is
that,
nice. And you got a young British core, too.
Yeah.
But except your British core is actually good. And our British core is
It's
not.
coming up, man. I think we will. That's why I'm so interested to see this matchup against Ajax in the Champions League.
Oh, I'm excited for that one.
That's going to be an interesting.
Hope Ajax win, by the way.
What's that?
Hope Ajax win, by the way.
Oh, of course you do, jackass. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup with all these young talents on display, all these really clubs that are now working in their own philosophies, and Chelsea's philosophy is just starting. Ajax has been established, but with Ajax at least losing,
there's gonna be a lot of money on
De
that.
Ligt,
A lot of money on that pitch.
Yeah,
a lot.
It's gonna be interesting. Let's get into. We're actually running pretty long on this. Let's go ahead and kind of get into.
Okay. Yeah.
Where do you feel your club right now is at in the scope of world football? Like what in terms of the best, the worst of the worst? Where do you feel you are, or at least where do you feel like what direction do you feel like Arsenal is heading?
Tough. With the new regime, I think we're going up.
Okay.
I think we're going up. We need to bring in more defensive players like Upamecano.
I think you need to completely retool that backcourt.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, someone on Twitter the other day said, how long before Arsenal start competing for a title? I said 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
That's makes sense because by then, who knows who's going to be in charge. But the defensively, you need a whole retool. Like I said, Bellerin and Tierney are coming back from injuries. Mm-hmm. You don't know how they're going to play.
Yeah, we don't know yet. I mean, with injuries, coming back is always so uncertain.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a little nervous in terms of our squad. Ruben. I mean, we have so many injuries right now. Rudiger, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Reece James, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and N'Golo Kante even. Yeah. I mean, Kante's Kante. I don't have to worry about him.
Yeah,
but the others,
I mean,
especially with players that you need speed, you need precision, you need technical skill. That's it's always uncertain when players get injured for especially extended periods of time.
Especially the type of injury, ACL or Achilles. Yeah, you're done. And and hernia apparently because Kieran Tierney had hernia, so we'll see how he does. But anything's better than Nacho Monreal and Kolasinac. But I think we're going up. Just the retooling of the defense. It's kind of weird to me though that Emery should know by now that defense sucks, and he still hasn't fixed it, or anyone on that coaching staff has fixed it or looked at it. So to me,
I think they've attempted though.
Attempt and doing it is two different things.
You got that one kid, Saliba? Is that his name?
Yeah, and he got hurt too already at St. Anthony. I think he had surgery for, I think it was his leg or back, but it's not major surgery. It's minor, but that's already worrying. But apparently he's the next Varane. So if he's the next Varane,
I mean,
we'll see.
We've heard that about a lot of players.
We've heard a lot.
He's the next Messi.
Yeah.
He's the German Messi.
Yeah,
Marco Marin.
Yeah, I don't know where he plays at anymore, but he was. Oh my God, terrible.
That's a Jeopardy question right there.
Just it's pretty bad. But no, I think we're going up.
When do you think you'll be back in the Champions League?
Next season. We're coming top 4.
Really?
Yeah, we're coming top 4.
Okay. Who's your top 4?
Oh, well, you know this by now. The top 4, number 1 is going to be Man City. They're going to do it again. Number 2, Liverpool. Number 3, us. Number 4, Spurs.
Do you think your defense is solid enough to sustain the top 3 challenge?
It's not about just defense. If we outscore our opponents, which hopefully we do, we're still just getting started. Plus, Man United are a mess. You guys are hard to figure out. I feel like you guys will challenge, but you're going to come in 5th.
I think we're going to be like a late bloomer. I mean, look, in Conte's title season, they won 13 matches in a row, but they didn't start well.
That's different.
In what way?
You got a new squad. Okay, young squad.
But I think at least with a team spirit, once we figure out this whole once we get our full strength squad back, they're going to be tough to play. Once Lampard figures out how to close that gap between the midfield and the defense, once Conte's back, I don't even think Rudiger's going to make a whole bunch of a difference, but at least once we get our Reece James back as our right fullback, a little bit more stability there. I think once we get Callum Hudson-Odoi, who can score goals, Ruben Loftus-Cheek can score goals, Tammy Abraham becomes a little bit more into his own, gets Christian Pulisic hopefully finds his feet. Hopefully feels a little more comfortable.
He'll be in MLS by the end of the season.
Breaking news: LA Galaxy signed Christian Pulisic.
Oh my God, what a joke if that happens. Oh my God, shut it down.
I think, I don't know. Maybe, yeah. Now it's like now that we've kind of been brought back to reality, I can see us being like 5th.
How's it feel?
Yeah, but at least like it's an optimistic 5th. Like at least it's like we're building something.
See, and apparently in a January transfer window, they're already talking about it. So if we bring in Upamecano or anybody, any good center back out there, please.
Wait, how many years did you guys give David Luiz on his contract?
2.
Okay.
So that's not bad.
That's not bad. You'll sell him at the end of the season.
And especially, yeah, or he'll stay and just be a dumbass. So, but Upamecano or Konate from Red Bull. But then again, they're not going to sell their players either because they're doing good right now in the Bundesliga.
Money talks, man.
Yeah, money talks. January is such a... Well, then again, we did bring in Aubameyang from Dortmund during January, which is different. But if we get a good center back in January, then we'll definitely solidify our place in the top 4. But right now, it's iffy top 4. Mm-hmm. But it works out in weird ways.
Okay.
So we'll see. What about you?
I think we're finally back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. The Holy Grail. The Champions League.
Yeah, I missed that music.
We're back, baby. I'm so happy. I think we're finally going to be back on track to get back to where we belong and sustaining that Champions League challenge. And this is obviously the Premier League is tougher than it's ever been. But I think that finally getting back into the Champions League, consistently competing for top 4, but competing title challenge and Europe challenge at the same time. We haven't seen that realistically since 2012.
Well, how far do you think you're going to get in Champions League?
We'll get out of the group. And I think...
based on the draw?
After that, it's based on the draw.
Based on the draw?
Yeah.
Oof.
I think, like... But what's nice is, like, okay, we may not qualify for the Champions League next season, but, like I said, we're building towards being able to sustain a top 4 challenge with our own resources for the years to come. And I think after next season, we'll see it really starts... After this season, we'll really start to see it take shape and see that philosophy and that, like, vision of what we want to achieve.
Okay.
We may be a little bit lower, like right now. With all good things, you got to give it time.
Yeah.
And so I think we're definitely on an upswing. You'd be hard pressed to find a Chelsea fan, a Chelsea supporter that is not optimistic about the direction we're headed in.
Yeah.
Hey man,
I was kidding.
Look, just because you don't have optimism doesn't mean I can't.
I'm optimistic to a certain point, but when I see certain stuff on the pitch, my optimism goes away right away.
It's like
when I see us playing on the back. Every time
you see David Luiz try to play out the back.
Every time I see, oh my God, every time we play out the back, when they're already outside the box waiting for us, it's like just a death trap waiting to happen. And I don't get that. Isn't just because they put a new rule in where you can put it inside the box and play patty cake in the back doesn't mean to fuck with it. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, you guys are fun. That's a fun.
I honestly will have to have a nurse next to me after every game.
If you want to watch someone go insane, just show them clips of Arsenal trying to play out the back, and they will slowly lose their mind.
Dude, it's like having a heart attack or fucking just. I need to have a nurse next to me at all times, checking on me, on my vitals.
You need a freaking straitjacket, is what you need.
I know. Maybe in a mental ward, an asylum.
You can bring out the mattress pads so you can match the walls.
Yeah, my fucking inmate will be the Joker probably.
All right, so I think, you know what? I'm happy with this episode. I think let's go ahead and end it on some speed round questions.
Ooh, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, let's go ahead and I'll ask you these questions. Just the first thing that comes to your mind. There's 10 questions. I've already laid them out.
Okay.
Let's just, don't even think about it. Let's just go ahead and go through it. I'm going to put, you know what I'm going to do is let's put the Champions League back on as like a background bed. That sounds fun. All right.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, what's the matter? It's just,
Yeah, we had some shit moments.
Don't worry,
in that.
Bro. We have your Europa League theme. Don't worry about it. We have it, bro. Don't worry.
We have shit memories in that too.
It's Arsenal, the Europa League against Frankfurt.
We should, if we don't win it this year, then
Europa League.
It's sad. I can't even watch all the games because they don't even show them on TV. I have to pay.
You have to pay $4 to watch it?
I have to pay $4 to watch it. I'm not doing that. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. It's not worth it.
All right, speed run questions. Here we go.
All right.
Question number 1. Favorite moment in the history of Arsenal?
Invincibles.
Invincibles. Okay, but like a singular moment.
For me, personally?
Yeah.
That I actually got to visualize would probably be winning the FA Cup against Hull City. It was dramatic for me. So.
Your first FA Cup win in however long.
Yeah, forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The worst moment.
I don't got 2 hours, so I'll make it quick. Watching on TV early in the morning to watch us get our ass whooped by Man United 8-2.
Okay.
That was pretty nice.
Your favorite football moment that doesn't involve Arsenal?
Oh, man. Watching the Netherlands get to the World Cup final, but I won't talk about the final though.
What happened after that?
They lost because Rafael van der Vaart's a fucking idiot, and Iniesta scored the winning goal.
Okay. Their most hated team.
Oh, I got too many, but I honestly can't stand Barcelona.
Okay.
They always fuck with us in the Champions League, and they're a bunch of pricks.
Okay. What about your favorite team to watch besides your club?
Well, I guess I really like to watch Real Madrid.
Okay.
On the side, but it's a little different now since Ronaldo's not there. But Real Madrid.
Okay. Best player of all time in the Premier League?
Number 14, Thierry Henry.
It's hard to argue, man.
Yeah.
Best player outside the top 6 currently?
Ooh. Damn. You know who I really like is Madison from Leicester City.
Yeah, I agree with
That guy's good.
All right, let's get into some
Oh, God.
United States, baby.
Don't do this.
Who's your favorite current U.S. men's national team player?
USA captain Michael Bradley. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not. No, it's not. Fuck no. Honestly, I love the way, this is kind of hard because sometimes they don't show up, but Weston McKennie always does pretty well.
Okay.
I like watching him play on USA.
I like that answer. Your favorite U.S. men's national team player of all time? Alexi Lawless.
Fuck no, I hate that guy's announcer and player. Overrated on all sorts. Honestly,
He had long hair.
I think it's gonna be the most memorable and always count on him for something good is Donovan.
Donovan. Okay.
Donovan, even though he's a prick now, but yeah,
Oh, what are you talking about? Mexico is his other team, bro.
that makes no sense.
If you're Wells Fargo and you need someone to root for Mexico, call Landon Donovan.
It makes no sense at all. Number 10,
Number 10, the first name you got on the back of a kit.
Emmanuel Adebayor.
Ooh.
That is weird now,
How
'cause
did that turn out?
Not good because I wasted $100.
It's Adebayor. He's running to the Arsenal fans.
Yeah, and
Did
he's
you
celebrating.
see that moment like on TV live?
Oh, I did.
And what was your reaction to that?
I should have never bought the jersey.
Just in the fire pit.
Yeah, I should have just dusted it off, threw it in the trash can. But you live and learn. Well, I didn't live and learn because I got Alexis Sanchez next, and that was pretty good too.
You also have Ozil, don't you?
Yeah, it's going in the trash and probably next season.
Hey man, you want to get a Doug Luiz kit? I'll buy you one.
Just thinking about it. No. All right, let me ask you now. Ready?
Okay, good.
All right, number 1 favorite moment for your club.
Munich.
Nice, that was dramatic. Okay, number 2 lowest moment supporting your club.
I will say.
John Terry piping all the players' wives. Or?
I'll go just because we felt like we were in such a bad spot. City 6-0.
Ooh, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite football moment that doesn't involve your club.
Aguero.
That was dramatic, and I like that.
Goosebumps.
Even
man.
though, actually, it meant Manchester United losing, so that was cool. Most hated team. All of world football.
Barcelona.
Yep.
Yeah.
Favorite team to watch besides your club.
Right now, my favorite team to watch. Oh, man.
Colorado Rapids.
Houston Dynamo. I will say I like watching Leicester.
Yeah, they're interesting. So does Arlo White.
Leicester.
Fucker.
Yeah, you had some fun with Arlo White on
Fuck
Twitter.
that guy, dude. I invite him on here.
Oh God.
Fuck him.
Hey, one day maybe.
Yeah. All right. So Leicester City.
Yes.
Okay. Best player of all time in the Premier League.
Super Frank. Super
Yeah.
Frank.
He's definitely-
Super Frank.
he's de-
Super Frankie Lampard.
He's definitely in the starting
only
11.
midfielder in the top 10 list of all-time goal scorers in the Premier League. The only one.
He
211 goals.
he's definitely a Manchester City legend. All right, so the
Actually, I would put that moment when he scored against us as one of my lowest moments as well. That was heartbreaking.
welcome to my world. It happens all the time. All right.
true.
Best player outside the top 6.
All right, you said Madison, so I'll pick a different one. I am going to go with, I really like Jimenez
Yeah.
from Wolves.
Yeah, he's going to be a good one.
I like him.
Let's see. Favorite U.S. men's national team player currently?
Chelsea's very own, Christian Pulisic.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to change that. I'm going to say Tyler Adams.
Yeah, you know
Tyler
what?
Adams is a
When
good
he
player.
plays the correct position, yes.
Oh,
not
you mean
playing.
he's not a right back?
No, he's not.
Is that what you're saying?
He's not a fucking right back. Even his own coach said, "Why is he going to play right back?" What does that tell you? It makes no sense. Good job, Greg. Dickhead.
Good old Greg.
All right. Favorite U.S. men's national team player of all time?
You said Donovan, so I will go ahead and pick.
Oh God.
I'm going to go ahead and pick Dempsey. Dempsey, and I'll even say Howard as well.
Yeah.
I think, like, okay, his latter years, say what you want about his later years.
Oh, yeah,
but
later
like,
years.
His prime was, fun to watch
Against
for us.
Belgium, of course. First name you got on the back of your kit?
I didn't actually get many names on. I got so
Andre
many.
Schürrle?
No, it was Hazard.
Oh, well.
And I had always bought kits, but I never got names on the back. And finally,
Because they always change.
Yeah, they always change. And of course, like when I bought the Hazard kit, it was when he was Hazard 17, and then he changed to Hazard 10 the following
Throwback.
summer. So, yeah, that's all of our speed questions. I think this is a good episode. An hour and 13 minutes.
I didn't feel like an hour and
It
13
did not
minutes.
feel like
Felt
an
like
hour
30 minutes, maybe.
Felt like 30 minutes. Our first episode, man. It's in the books.
Excited.
How you feel?
I feel good. I think it went well.
All right. I mean, apart from being outside in the backyard, nice day. It's just air conditioner, dogs barking.
Someone
cars.
sneezed, too. I don't know if you heard that. Towards the end, someone
I don't
sneezed.
know. We'll figure all that out. But thanks so much for joining us, listening. Listen, we're on every platform you can get us on. Apple
That's right.
Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud. We're on YouTube. We're on Google Play, Google Podcasts. We're on we're on Anchor. Thanks so much, Anchor, for hosting our podcast. Listen, you can find us on Twitter at LA Londoners Pod. You can find Garrett. Where are you on Twitter?
I'm on multiple. You want me to say all of them, or you want me to
Say
just
your Arsenal and
Arsenal one?
And why not your LAFC one too?
Okay, yeah. For those of you that don't know, I am an LAFC fan as well. So if you're interested in that, maybe you're not. But for the Arsenal one, it is at @UP_Arsenal, and then for LAFC one, we have at We Are LAFC Live. So if you guys want to give me a follow there, follow all the newest updates on the clubs and our podcast.
Awesome. And then you can find me at Bryon, that's spelled Bryon, kids, James_. You can find us on Twitter there. And hey, listen, we're trying to get on the Apple Podcasts, like new and noteworthy list. So here's what we're going to do. If you listen to Apple Podcasts, go ahead and drop a 5-star review. Tell us what you like, what you don't like so far. And also leave your Twitter handle at the bottom if you have one. And we'll go ahead and give you a follow on there on our LA Londoners Podcast Twitter account.
Exactly.
Please, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to get your responses, how you think it went, what you like, what you don't like. And look, we're going to keep on rolling, keep on improving. So that's us for this episode, unless you got any other final thoughts.
No, enjoy the international break. USA against Mexico. Should be good.
Well, yeah, that'll be a fun game. And we'll definitely come back with a review on that.
Yes,
we'll
we
come
will.
back with way more in this international break.
Yes.
But until then, this is the LA Londoners Podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Talk to you all soon.